These ballads were forged in the fire of truth. Listen, and you shall awaken.
Hey everyone, today we're jumping into a piece of writing that's way more than just a poem. It's called The Ballad of Our Future Leaders, and honestly, it's a powerful cry for a total reset. It tells the story of a nation that's just had enough and is ready to write a brand new chapter. Let's get right into it. So the poem doesn't mess around. It kicks off with this incredibly powerful line. I mean, think about that. It's not just a phrase, it's a declaration, a line in the sand. Right from the get-go, you know this is a story about people who've learned some hard lessons and are absolutely determined not to repeat the past. So to really get why they're so defiant, we first have to understand the pain that's fueling it all. The ballad starts by painting this picture of a nation that is really hurting and just desperate for a fresh start. And the poem just cuts right to the chase. It describes a country that feels deeply let down by its leaders. You know, these words, wounded, tired, and torn, they're not just descriptions. You can feel the collective burnout, the sense of betrayal. It sets up this incredible urgency for some kind of healing. And it makes so much sense that this is a ballad, right? Traditionally, a ballad is a story for the people, often set to music. This isn't some dry academic paper. It's a story, a shared feeling, a narrative about a fundamental need that anyone, anywhere can understand. Okay, so the ballad makes one thing crystal clear. For something new to be born, the old has to go. The next part of this story is all about this absolute rejection of the kinds of leaders who let the country get so wounded in the first place. And wow, the contrast it draws is just so sharp. On one side, you've got the old guard, people born from power and greed. They're called rulers who cannot read, which really just means they're totally clueless about what their people actually need. But then, look at what the people are asking for. Leaders with sincere hearts, clear minds, people who are noble and worthy. The gap between the two is massive. So let's just break that down a bit. This isn't just about leaders being bad at their jobs. It's a very specific takedown of people who cling to power they didn't earn and this is the worst part, who actually use ignorance and lies to stay in control. And that brings us to what might be the most powerful line in the whole thing. No crown for ignorance, no throne for lies. I mean, chills. This is the people's new rulebook. It's them saying, we will never, ever again reward someone with power just because they're dishonest or incompetent. It's the moral bedrock for everything they're fighting for. So after tearing down the old model, the ballad doesn't just leave a big empty space. It actually does something really hopeful. It starts building a profile of the ideal leader, painting a really specific picture of who should step up next. It's like we're building this new leader from the ground up. First, it starts with character, right? Heart's sincere. Then it moves to intellect, mind's crystal clear. But it doesn't stop there. It demands real, actual expertise, masters in knowledge, and doctors of thought. This is a call for leaders who aren't just good people, but are genuinely brilliant and capable. And that's really the heart of it. When you boil it all down, the number one thing they're asking for isn't charisma or strength or wealth. It's wisdom. After being ruled by ignorance, the one thing the nation is starved for is leadership that is thoughtful, knowledgeable, and, well, wise. And this is where it gets really interesting, because the poem gets even more specific. It moves past these great qualities and starts laying out a literal blueprint for a government that works, pointing to the exact skills a country needs to not just recover, but actually thrive. And look at this. It's such a practical vision. It's calling for economists who actually get the local situation, scientists with a conscience, teachers, thinkers, and peace builders. This isn't your typical cabinet of politicians scratching each other's backs. This is a dream team of problem solvers. It's a government of experts, each one vital to rebuilding society. So this line basically becomes the new mission statement. The old way was all about power and greed. The new philosophy? It's beautifully simple. Let knowledge rule, let justice lead. It's a total flip of the script, where expertise and fairness are now the highest authorities in the land. All right, so now we get to the final act of the story. After laying out the problem and the solution, the ballad closes with the people making a promise, a really powerful vow to see this vision through. And the poem is really clear. This is not just a passing thought. The words it uses are so heavy. A vow, a hope, a creed. It's hammering home the point that this whole movement, this ballad, it wasn't a choice. It was a response, born out of necessity, out of suffering. And then the poem gives us a name, a place. Oh, Sri Lanka. This one line just grounds the whole thing. It takes this universal message about good government and turns it into this intimate, heartfelt plea from the children of a nation to the very land they call home. I love this image. It gives you this sense of an unstoppable, quiet revolution. It's not a big, angry protest. It's a determined whisper that's spreading everywhere, uniting the entire island in one single promise for what comes next. And that shared promise, that whisper, it all builds to this one brilliantly simple final statement. After all the beautiful language and the deep emotion, it all boils down to this one clear, powerful choice. It's the perfect mic drop to end the ballad, a declaration of empowerment. So the ballad leaves us with this incredible vision and a powerful promise, but it also leaves us with a question that goes way beyond the poem itself, right? Once a nation comes together and demands better, what happens next? Because turning that vow into a reality, well, that's the real challenge this ballad leaves all of us to think about. Thanks for tuning in.
Each ballad holds a secret flame, art. Let it burn within your soul. Your friend has written one of the best novels in the world. Just wish him and congratulate him.